Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to my photo shopping stream where we go online together and look for deals. And I try to curate a few deals ahead of time. And it's also an open Q&A, so if you have any questions, particularly if you're looking for any type of gear, I can give you my opinion or we can shop together and take a look. And let me just go in the chat section. I see the Gray Vanzini's here, John Follows, Roger, good morning everyone. Oh, Ethan's here. How you doing, Ethan? And let's see, Jeff Painter, good morning, and Eric. And wow, dry and cloudy. Oh, it's a beautiful day here. A little breezy, but we're gonna get into the 80s. But we're gonna have wind gusts like at 30 miles an hour, and then it's gonna cool off tomorrow, and rain. But I did get out this morning and did a little shooting. Maybe I'll share some of those photos a little later, but they're already up on my Instagram and Flickr. If you want to take a look at them later. But anyhow, let's, without further ado, go to what I wanted to cover today. And then I'll open it up to the chat section. Oh, let's see. So, I am an affiliate for DxO, Amazon, B&H, all these guys. B&H has some really good deals today. And also on Amazon, I found a few good deals. Let's see. So springtime, it seems to be like a lot of deals on cameras, and lenses are kind of random, but there are some good deals here. As always, the OM3, my favorite camera, is still on sale. And if you've been thinking about the OM3 and getting the OM3, uh, as your first Micro Four Thirds camera, the the OM3 with the 12 to 45 is a great combination and a really, really good deal. For $19.99, you're getting a camera, and it's not your typical kit lens. I mean, this is a pro lens, 12 to 45 f4. It just lives on my camera most of the time. Has great close-up capability, has a good range, and at f4, it's got plenty of light. It's not perfect, right? A lot of us would like 1.8 or 1.4, but for most things, general photography, everyday photography, the 12 to 45 is very, very sharp and focuses quickly in the close focusing distance to get flowers and things are great. I'll show you a couple examples. I did these focus stacking with the 12 to 45, in-camera stacking with, this was with the M5 Mark III, but did I use the 12 to 45? Yeah, 12 to 45 f4. Great lens, and not that image, but the OM3 will do focus stacking just like the M5 Mark III. But I just want to show you that lens in particular. And I have lots of examples with that lens. It's a great lens for doing event photography as well. I use that primarily along with the Panasonic 35 to 100 and the OM3. And the whole grip here is an excellent grip. It has an Arca Swiss plate and adds a little bit of a grip in the front. It's a great grip for the OM3. Highly recommend you get that. And the OM5, the Mark II, successor to the EM5 Mark III series, this is an excellent camera as well. At half the price, it doesn't have the what would I say? Like subject detect, like bird detect and animals and cars, planes, trains, but it's still a very, very competent camera. And you can do so many things with it. The high-res shot mode, the in-camera focus stacking, the live comp, and and of course 4K video. And it comes in two varieties here, black and silver. There's also a beige one. It's a little harder to find, but I recommend the black one or getting the beige one. I like the black one because the silver one, this is just painted silver, and over time, it kind of gets nicks in it. So I just prefer the black. Unlike the OM3, which is an all metal you know, it's painted metal, but the chips don't show as easily on that one. So it'll look good for a long time. Whereas the OM5, I've seen a lot of EM5s and OM5s used, and I don't think they age quite as well as just getting an all black one. It always looks brand new. But it's at a decent deal at $1049. Excellent camera. I would recommend this over just about any other camera at this price point. And if you pair it with the 14 to 150, you have a weather sealed travel camera. It's a great range. The lens is okay. I personally, I didn't care for it, particularly on the long end at 150 millimeters, but it's a great lens to get started with. To it at the wide end all the way up to about 100 millimeters, it's very, very good lens, and the weather sealing can't be beat. And if you want to get a couple of extra lenses, the 45 1.8 is an excellent lens to complement, any of the kit lenses here that I've shown, along with the 40 to 150 kit lens. You can get this pair of lens. This will run you a little over like 450 bucks, 460. And it's a great complement to the 12 to 45, or just buying this pair for your OM5. And then, of course, you're going to need memory cards, and I recommend getting V60 cards. I do have a V90 card here, which is, it's just a good deal for a V90 card. It's a brand that I've used personally for the last several months, and it's been working great. The Digi-Era is similar in terms of what I would expect at this price point, but it's a V60 card, 256 gig. If you look at any other V60 in another brand, it's going to cost you double this price. So this is an exceptionally good deal, and once they're gone, they're gone. We're not going to see this price point, ever again. Well, I wouldn't say never, but in the near future, I would say throughout the rest of this year, because of the shortage in SD cards. So there's that. And then so just to finish out your kit, you're going to need a bag. I recommend these sling bags, this Teoka sling. This is sort of a Peak Design imitation, but it's a great little bag, good size, perfect size for the kit that I just recommended. And also there's one here from S-Zone, also equally very, very nice bag. I like the Teoka here a little more because it does zipper all the way around, so it just makes it kind of easier to get to your gear when you can open the bag up a little more. And then there is the S-Zone. I have this bag in a different brand. I have a K&F version, but it's the same bag, and it fits, everything you'd want. The OM3, the OM5, no problem. Even the OM1. And then here's some good tripods. There's a budget option here for $36. I like how compact it is. Let me fix something real quick. And then, okay, so this bag here, I really like the divider that comes with it. It's foldable, so you can fit, little larger items in here if you want to, like the camera with the lens attached, or you can just kind of break everything up as they demoed here. But it's a bag that I've used, over the last couple of years on and off, and it's a great bag. Also comes in gray. You know, $20.99. And then the tripod, I just like how compact it folds down into. It makes it very, very easy to stuff into the side of your backpack or underneath your messenger bag or even on top. And it's lightweight, and it has a nice metal ball head. You could do a lot worse for $35.97. Okay, you can do a lot worse when it comes to tripods. So it's a good starter tripod if you're on a budget. As you can see, when we start adding up all these things, it starts looking expensive, right? But these are things that you're going to use over and over again for a long time. Now this is a tripod that I own, that I have it in a different brand. I have a Coleman. It's branded as Coleman, and it costs about $30 or $40 more if you get it under a different brand name. For whatever reason, GVM is selling this one for 189, and it has not gone on sale since I added this to my store here. But it's a great tripod. I see this tripod a lot now out in the field. A lot of people are buying this tripod even without my recommendation. They're finding this to be a very, very good tripod. I know the OM System ambassadors use this tripod, again with a different brand name on it, but uh, why pay more if you don't have to for the same thing just because of the brand name? Um, and then let's see. If you want to get a flash, there's a couple options here. I really recommend the Godox V480 because it's relatively compact, but it still has very, very good light output. And it's the Godox's most, latest interface. Excuse me. Touchscreen interface. It also works as a transmitter receiver, so you can use it to control off-camera flashes, or you can use this flash off-camera with the trigger or other Godox flash. And, guide number 50, high-speed sync, TTL, very fast recycle times, good battery life. You know, I this is the flash I like to take with me. I'm kind of split 50-50 between this flash and IT32, which is even a little bit smaller. But between the two, I would get this. If I only had to get one, I would get this one. Because of the very fast recycle times, you can use this even more so for focus stacking and bracketing for macro work. Although the IT32 will do a good job as well. Now, if you want a budget option, Newer has their Z140. It's a 16 watt second mini flash. And I like that it's already raised up above the lens quite a bit. So, and also tilts up. That the tilting function is going to be kind of limited because it's not a super powerful flash. But in smaller spaces, this is perfectly fine. And this has a very similar output to the Viltrox. I forget the name of it. But the guide number is 15, so it has plenty of power, has a good battery life, fast recycle times. It's a full manual flash, but it does have off-camera ability with the S1, S2 mode. And, when you're using a small flash like this, TTL is not quite as big a deal as you might think. You just set the flash power. In one or two shots, you'll have it down. And for macro work, same thing. This will be more than enough power to do macro photography, even like in broad daylight. It'll get the job done. So I really like small flashes like this, and there's a lot of them out there, but this one has like I said, it has a raised, it's already raised up above the lens, so you don't get shadows on your macro photography from the lens, and it's still compact, and it's, the battery, a lot of people talk about the battery not being replaceable, and for $22, these are really kind of throwaway flashes. You'll get a few years out of this, if not more, depending how much you use it, and then you just get whatever else is new on the market. So it's a great flash. I like it. Has a little LED display down here, so it's going to be easy to set. Let's see if they have any other. Comes with a little diffuser. Well, you're going to lose that. It's not important though. Diffusers really on tiny flashes like this are just kind of useless. Looks like it also comes with some gels, so you can do some creative things if you want. But those things I would consider as just they're going to get lost. Okay, and then finally I have a backpack here and some other filters. So the 62 millimeter filter set is on sale for $11.36. This is a great deal. These are glass ND filters, and so you're not going to see any problems with image quality. And these are stackable, so you can get really dark, but the ND1000 will allow you to do you know, long exposures in broad daylight. So for doing like waterfalls and rivers, you know, any kind of moving subject that you want to blur in the daytime, adding an ND filter will let you do that. And you can throw these on top of the uh, digital ND filters, you know, the live ND that we have in our own system cameras for even a more dramatic effects. So I recommend ND filters and polarizers all the time. These are kind of core filter accessories that every photographer should have. And when you can get a good deal on them, you get them. There's really no need to spend hundreds of dollars on filters. You know, what I found was the main difference is not so much in the detail and the pixel peeping of like a cheap filter like this and the high-end filters. Where I see the difference is really in the when it comes to this solid ND filter, is really in the flaring performance. So if you're shooting in direct sunlight, you will get a flare or reflection or something. So, you know, and that's not a typical use case for an ND filter. You're not typically shooting directly into the sun. So other than that, you know, this filter will probably do 90% of the photography that you want to do with an ND filter. Like the ND64 filter is an excellent filter for doing portrait flash photography to keep your flash in the sync speed in broad daylight. You can keep your aperture wide open so you can get that shallower depth of field if you want. And you know, for $11.36, comes with a case and a little lens pen. You know, this is a deal. This is a deal because if you tried to buy the lens pouch or the lens pen by itself, it'll cost you almost like $11. But here you're getting everything for that price. So I like this deal here. And then just quickly on this backpack, this is a hard shell backpack. It's a great backpack for $51. You know, this goes on sale on a regular basis, so you can hold off on this if you're not ready to get a backpack yet. But if you're ready for a backpack and you want a good one for a good price, this is hard to beat here. You know, lots of dividers included. Like I said, it does have a hard shell, so it protects your gear pretty well. And you know, it's relatively compact. So, you know, like this is pretty representative of how it'll fit on your back, and it's fine. It's a nice little backpack for 50 bucks. Um, and then here's another, this is a 77 millimeter filter set. This is a little less common for micro four third lenses, but there might be one or two that'll take this. But if you have a lens that you need a 77 millimeter filter, you know, this comes with two ND filters and a circular polarizer. Hard to beat. And you get the case with it. So if you need it, if you're looking for 77 millimeters, this now is the time to get it. You're getting 3 filters in a case for $8.49. Hard to beat. And then this was an interesting find. Now, leveling bases, Welling is a very good brand. Leveling bases are really good for doing panorama type photography. A lot of videographers use leveling tripod heads. So if you have a ball head or a fluid head, ideally a fluid head, you would use this together with the leveling base. And for photography, it's really great for doing multi-row panoramas. You'll get much better stitching. And, you know, so I can recommend this as an addition or accessory. I have a couple of these in a similar fashion or similar function, right? They're leveling heads. And I've since bought a tripod that has a leveling base built in with a fluid head, so I don't really use it as much as I used to. But before I got my new tripod, this was a great accessory to help me get better stitching for my panoramas. Uh, and then the Amazon Basics bag here, this is a bag that I bought, you can see, way back when I was getting started. And I don't use it anymore because I like the other sling bags that I showed you a little better. But this holds a lot of stuff, and it's a little bit deeper and wider. So if you prefer this style and it has a lot of pockets, this thing will hold a lot of stuff. If you prefer this style, then this is a very good quality bag. It's really well made, it's durable, and it holds a lot of stuff. Comes with, enough dividers there to separate everything. And I really like the two side pockets and the front pocket. That's where I put like my flash triggers and, lens filters and things like that in the side, so that the only thing I need to keep inside are the lenses and camera gear that need the most protection. So I've never seen this bag this low a price. I paid more than that. I paid $25 for mine back in 2014. So the fact that we're now 12 years later, you can buy this for less than what I paid makes this a steal, in my opinion. Okay, let's see. Now, for those of you that just want to buy top of the line, sling bags, the Peak Design here has a coupon. So you can get this for $40 off. So $95 for a Peak Design sling. And this is the 10-liter one. So this is a pretty big bag. The 6-liter ones will cost you the same price. See, they're $129. So you can get a 10-liter, which will hold a lot of stuff, for $5 more than a 6-liter. And, if you like the Peak Design brand and you like the quality of Peak Design, now's the time to get this particular sling bag. And then Wandered is also an excellent brand. This is a smaller one, but this is closer to the size of the cheaper sling bags that I showed earlier, but very, very high quality. And, this is like a lifetime bag. You'll use this forever. Unlike the $20 bags, you'll probably use those for about 4 or 5 years. But this is a quality bag, lifetime bag, right? And on sale for $97. So again, about 40 bucks off. So really, really good deal. Oops. 1 second. All right. So I just thought I'd throw those out there because they are on sale and at a good deal. And then these I've talked about many times. If you do buy a flash, you do want to get one of these diffusers if you're going to be doing any kind of macro photography. Either one is a good option. Basically, they put the light in front of the lens so that you don't get a shadow, and it softens the light and also creates a really nice catch light if you do insects and things in the eyes. So I would recommend these if you have a flash and want to do macro photography, or if you buy one of the flashes above, you can add this to get a really good soft light and catch lights. And it's also good for flower photography. Between the two, this one is a little better in terms of power output because most of the light gets projected onto your subject, versus, this one, which is easier to carry. It's more portable because it kind of just collapses down. This one here, half the light gets bounced back. So you're going to need a little bit more power. Now, if you have a V480, it's no big deal. You're going to have more than enough power with a V480. But if you have one of the smaller flashes or less powerful flashes, you'll definitely want to go with this. Or if you need more power from even a V480, this would be the better option. But between the two, I'd probably get this one. This is the one I use the most, and I use this very rarely, but I do keep it in my bag because it just folds flat, and I just stick it into the back. The Panasonic full frame S5 II with 2 lenses. I'm still tempted to get this for myself, but I just don't need another camera. But it comes with a 50mm f1.8 and a 20-60 kit lens. Both are excellent. Really, really top quality glass. And of course, the camera itself is excellent. 24 megapixels. Really, really good rendering. And just the image quality that you get out of these Lumix cameras is excellent. I kind of miss my Lumix cameras. I keep shopping them just in case I want to add that back to my shelf. But I'm just getting by with my own system cameras now. Uh, and by getting by, I mean I'm getting everything I want out of my photography with these camera systems, with OM systems that it's kind of tempered my gas for uh, the Lumix, even though I really like the Lumix camera systems. And then down here, just a couple of things I'll note. You know, check this out. It's still on sale with a coupon for $239. It's a great travel backup device. I bought mine, I guess about 4 months ago, 5 months ago, for the same price when it was on sale. And then you always need to charge your camera batteries, your whatever, flash batteries. Ugreen is an excellent brand for charging products and battery packs. They're all on sale here. I have versions of all of these. Either I have the Anchor brand, but this. I do have this exact charger in my car, which has been excellent. Quickly charges my phone and my camera batteries, anything that's PD compatible. And I also have a version of this, and I use this all the time as well to keep things charged up while I'm traveling. The light stand. This is a great light stand. Very compact, lightweight. I bought a couple of these. I might get another couple more because I just like them so much. Because I typically do 3 and 4 light setups when I do portraits. So uh, I just like how lightweight and portable they are, and they're more than strong enough to hold, your typical Godox V100s, 8200s. You're kind of pushing it if you're going to try and put an 8300 or 8400 or 600 on there. I would probably get a more sturdy light stand, but anything up to an 8200, this works perfectly fine, including the modifier. As long as you don't get crazy with your modifier. Uh, and for other systems here, the Sony for Sony mount, the 28 to 75 f2.8 G2. This is an excellent lens. No reason to spend more for the Sony branded ones or Sony OEMs. This is not on sale anymore, so skip that. I wouldn't pay $179 for this. It was on sale, I think, for $139 or $129. At that price point, this is a great tripod, but $179, I'd wait for it to go on sale. 16 millimeter wide angle for Canon. Excellent deal here, $258 if you like wide angle photography like I do. This is a great addition. I'm thinking about this because I have a Canon R8 that I'd probably take out more if I had this lens. I hardly take it out now because I just have the normal kit lens for it. And let's see, and some other stuff down here. Check it out if you have any questions about any of this stuff. Filter wrenches, I would recommend this along with stepping rings. This is the best deal on these kind of products. This is a nice little snap-on macro. The quality out of this is excellent. I bought mine. It's not on sale now, so maybe wait for this to go on sale. But because at 50 bucks, it's a little bit high. I think this is probably about a $35 product, and it goes on sale for about that price on a not regular basis, but time to time. So just keep an eye out for it. Keep my page here, storefront, bookmarked, and come back time to time and see if this is going on sale, because this is something I'm going to leave on my page permanently because I really like this particular. Why the sound died? It's the battery. Give me 1 second. I had this in the charger. I don't know why it didn't charge. Oh. I should go to a wired mic. Okay, I'm going to turn these on. I know these are charged. I charged them. Okay. Make it a little bit louder. All right. Well, that might be too loud. Okay, we'll go with that. Sorry about that. This clips in. Okay. So let me back up just a little bit. So Roger, any 5 volt, the 15 watt output is fine. Whether it's the USB-C port or the micro USB port on that charger, it charges the batteries at like 5 watts. And if you got 2 in there, it goes to about 9 watts. So a 15 watt will be more than enough. And I think the standard for USB-C or the micro USB is the same at that power level. So yeah, you're fine with that. And then what I was saying here about the EM5 Mark II, I expanded the conversation to the EM10 Mark II, the EM5 Mark II, and the EM1 Mark II, in my opinion, were the pinnacle of the Olympus camera system. You will not find a better camera at those price points, whether they were released or even currently on the used market, at those price points, in my opinion. I really think OM Systems would be doing everyone a favor if they could bring the OM5 back to an all-metal build like they did the EM5 Mark II. And because I don't think people care about the weight of the camera so much as the overall size, right? And they're willing to pay a little bit more for a little better quality. Because when I pick up a camera and it just feels like plastic, right? And I it just doesn't it doesn't do the camera any favors in that sense, right? And I get it. It's, the OM5 is weather sealed. It's a durable camera. It's a great camera. But if it were metal and weather sealed like the EM5 Mark II, I'd be willing to pay a little bit more. Even if it's just the perception of it being a little more durable. I think perception makes a big difference in a camera purchase. Particularly if you're going to be dropping $1,000, $2,000, you don't want to pick up a piece of plastic, right? So, and I get it. A lot of cameras are plastic these days, especially at those price points. But I think they will definitely not lose any sales at the higher price point if they put more emphasis on the overall quality or perception of quality of the camera. And Esrom has the BC1X charger can either be powered by the FC81 or any other USB-C adapter. Okay, so yeah, if you're talking about the OEM charger, you need a little bit higher output, PD compatible to get the 9-volt 3 amps or 27 watts. Typically, those are PD compatible chargers. And Anthony says, apparently there's rumors of an all-new monochrome that will be announced sometime in the next few months. We'll see. I was initially kind of excited about the idea of a monochrome OM3, and I was thinking, really, if they're going to make a monochrome camera, they should make it in the OM5, because if they put it in the OM3, you're paying for a lot of things that are just like the Astro OM3. You're paying for a lot of things that you're not going to use in black and white photography typically. In this case, a little bit different is uh, the creative dial just goes out the window, right? You don't need the art filters anymore. None of them are going to work in black and white. The creative art filters, the color wheel, you certainly probably won't need the monochrome settings anymore, because those were designed to adapt for color sensors, right? So you have color filters and things like that in the monochrome dial that are going to be useless on a monochrome sensor. So they'd have to modify the OM3 quite a bit, particularly the creative dial, to make more sense, right? So we'll see. We'll see if they come out with an OM3 and they didn't do anything to the creative dial. That's going to be a waste. You're just paying for things you're not going to use. But the OM5, for example, it has all the things that you would use in monochrome. High-res shot mode would be really good with the monochrome camera. And of course, all of the shutter modes and focus stacking and other computational features, live ND, grad ND, all these things will be fine for monochrome photography. But you don't need a creative dial that is about 75% related to color images, right, on an OM3. So if they can reprogram the color wheel or the creative dial to be dedicated to monochrome features, and off the top of my head, I can't think of what they would do, but that would make more sense. But if they do it in the OM5, a monochrome OM5 makes a lot more sense to me. Because monochrome cameras typically aren't sport action cameras, which the OM3 can do. I've taken a lot of bird and flight shots with the OM3. And yeah, so I'd be curious if they do anything with that creative dial in the OM3. Otherwise, you just have a dial there that's no use. And Ethan saw that as well. I wouldn't take it for a ton of extra dollars for OM to produce it. Yeah, I'm kind of there. If they're going to add, like, the Astro camera is $500 or $600 more than a regular OM3, and you're just paying for things that you're not going to use in astrophotography. Same thing with monochrome. And Grave says, I hate my Dom keys. The clips are a nuisance. So many good and fair, cheaper bags. Yes, I would agree. And Anthony said, I would like a monochrome version of the OM3 to have a black body. Hopefully the front dial could be used for changing color contrast filters that are built in. Yeah, they're not going to be able to do that. You can't do that because you have to have a color array on the filter, like on a regular color sensor, to have color filters. And the monochrome camera just won't have that. So that is not going to be the case. So I'd be curious to see what they can do with that creative dial for black and white photography. I mean, I can't imagine what they would do. Because yeah, the art mode, the color creator, and the monochrome mode, all of those would be pretty much useless with a monochrome OM3. And when dedicated black and white camera comes out, it will probably be hard to find, being that it'll be one of the cheapest monochrome cameras on the market. Well, there's only two now, so we're not saying much there. And I think the K there was four, but the K3's been discontinued. So we have the GR4 monochrome and the Leica monochrome. So now we have, if they have the OM3, yeah, it'd probably be closer to the price of the GR4, if not more. So saying it's the cheapest is it's a pretty small field, right? Uh, I mean, it could be $10 cheaper than the Leica and still be the second cheapest one, right? Okay, no sound. Sorry. Uh, let's see. And let me go up. And I need a boom mic. Yeah. And the reason I got into Olympus was for the size and computational features of IBIS. Yes, me too. I got in primarily because of the small size. And then I discovered that the IBIS and computational features were awesome. And Roger says, Rob, I know you have to abide by all your NDAs, but I'm wanting for the OM5 to go to one more level to jump from an EM5 Mark III. I have the OM1 Mark I, so having those features in a smaller body, yes. That would be nice. I'm not aware of any, NDA or not, I'm not aware of anything at this point. Somehow I'm sort of outside of the OM system circle, right? Even the ambassadors don't even know. When the ambassadors were down here in my area last month, we're all sitting around the breakfast table just guessing what OM Systems is going to do, you know, until it's actually released. So as of mid-April, uh, there was no NDAs for anything. Is all I can say. Um, yes, creative dial for filters. What if you need more than one filter? I don't know. Like if you're talking about the color filters, yeah, there's not going to be color filters. And Henning says even better than an OM5 monochrome would be a pen mono and get in the ring with Ricoh. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Uh, I don't know if they want to go that route though and compete head to head with the Ricoh. I think they need to step up to an OM5 to have an EVF and competent, all of the computational features and everything in a very snappy, fast camera. The pen line currently is using the older TruePic processor, but if they came out with a new pen with a modern, the Digic 10 or whatever the latest processor is, or even a new processor, then maybe. But just taking an existing pen ain't going to cut it, in my opinion, to compete against the Ricoh. They need to step up to the OM5 level. And here's my question. I've wanted for years to have a full frame camera with the OM system. Full frame buy Olympus OM to use my full frame Zuiko lenses. I know that won't happen. So what full frame camera would you suggest? Definitely the S5 II. If you want, I really like the S5 series, the Lumix series. Uh, and I would stay with the 24 megapixel. I wouldn't go super high resolution. So go with a 24 megapixel or less full frame camera. And the Lumix is about the best deal right now. I think body only is closer to 1600 or something, right? And you can find them used for even less than that, like 1300. And since you're adapting lenses, you don't even need to get the Mark II for the phase detect autofocus. You can go back to the S5 Mark I, which is well under $1,000 at this point, I believe. So I would recommend the S5 Mark I in refurbished site somewhere. Save a bunch of money and you'll get an excellent sensor. that's easy to adapt to Zuiko lenses. And even though the Zuiko lenses are relatively compact, you know, having a little bit larger body like in the S5 gives you better handling, and that's probably what I would recommend, is something like that. The only other option might be like an older Nikon Z5, the Mark I, that also has a 24 megapixel sensor, but it's a Nikon body, and that would pair nicely with a lot of the Zuiko lenses as well. So either one of those, the Z5 or the S5 Mark I, both excellent cameras for adapting vintage OM system lenses. And Thomas is here. Hello, Rob. Recently got the EM10 Mark II. I came across a video where you talk about this lens, the 40-150 f4. Is it still a great lens for beginners? Absolutely. It is still a great lens. And I talked about it earlier in the stream. It's on sale for $169 right now. So you can go to my deal page and you'll see it there. So no question, I would recommend that lens, particularly if you have a 14-42 kit lens now. Adding the 40-150 is kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. And I still use that lens today for my event photography because of the extra reach I get. In fact, this Friday, I'll probably use it at an event that I'm doing for some video, because I'll be up on I'll be in the back row of a theater, and the performance is going to be on the stage, so I'm going to be pretty far back, and I'm debating either that or just go with my Panasonic. But for general photography and close-up and macro photography, if add extension tubes to the 40-150 kit lens, you can do a lot with that lens, and you get really, really good quality. I don't know anybody that knocks that lens for any reason, particularly at that price point. It's really, really good lens. And are there a lot of adapters for original Olympus lenses? Yeah, there's a lot, like $15, maybe 20 now, for Micro Four Thirds to OM. Any one of them. The Photocy is the ones that I have. I have a lot of the Photocy branded adapters. And when you start adapting lenses, the other thing I would recommend is buying additional rear lens caps. You can get like 5 of them for $10. Generic rear lens caps for Micro Four Thirds. And then you buy multiple adapters. So you have like say 3 adapters, and you get 3 rear lens caps. That way you can keep the OM system lens on the adapter and just put the Micro Four Thirds rear lens cap onto the adapter directly, so you don't have to constantly attach and detach. And then that's what I've done. I've bought a couple of the Photocy Micro Four Thirds to OM adapters with some extra caps, and then I keep them together so that when I want to use an OM system lens, I just bring them over. I mean, same idea as what Ethan was asking about using it for full frame. You could buy a couple of adapters with, one for each lens, with the rear lens cap for whatever camera system you're going to buy. Then you treat the adapter with the lens attached as a lens instead of like treating the adapter separately. So I'll give you an idea. Like this one here, this is my OM to Micro Four Thirds adapter, and I just put this, not to, I have generic ones around, but this is an original cap. But if I want to use this lens on my OM system camera, and in your case, Ethan, on a full frame camera, I just grab it like this and put it in my bag. And then then I can just mount it to the camera directly, just as if this was just a lens and not, 2 pieces together. This is a great lens, the 24 millimeter f2.8 from OM Systems. This is a great lens if you want to get one. To start with, the 50, the 24, also the 135 are all really good lenses from OM Systems, the original film OM System lenses. All right. Let's see. I don't see any other questions, so maybe we're done here. I will. I don't think I can do a photo editing stream this week. I'll try and squeeze it in, but Friday morning, that's when I'm doing the event. And that's Friday mornings when I normally do my photo editing. So that event's going to be done probably around 12 or 1 o'clock. So I could maybe do the photo editing stream later in the day, but I don't know what time, because sometimes I usually go out with the event, the people holding the event for lunch and things after that, and then I don't make it back home till 3 or 4 o'clock. And then I don't know if I have the energy, from there to do an editing stream. So there's that, and maybe Thursday. Thursday might be an option. I have another appointment Thursday, but the photo editing stream maybe I'll do, then. So that's it. You guys, thank you so much for joining me this morning, and I will be back Sunday, most likely. I mean, I do streams every Sunday. I don't have anything set up for that day. So unless it's Mother's Day or something, I don't know. Just keep an eye on my channel for live streams. I try to live stream at least 3 times a week, and be here for you guys to answer questions. So thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day, a great week. Try to do that every day. You have a good life, right? Eat healthy and exercise.